Yeah.
Yeah.
Like still, you're a 0.5 off.
But Callum, well, Ryan as well, but it's you. But Callum, that shit is like, these things don't happen to other people, bro. This shit is like such a Ryan fucking, for everyone listening, like you just don't get the number of like things that you're like, it's just a Ryan fucking thing to happen, man. Like
it was literally hitting like a home run to win the game. Like it was like anything that happens in sport. It was like that literal, like right at the line, like the whole thing.
It's the movie with like the inspirational music and like they shoot the basket and then it's like on the rim and it's like 20 minutes like going around and then it just comes out at the end and it just cuts or whatever. But hey, yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of It's All You Bro podcast, the podcast by bros, for bros. And as always, I'm joined with the bros themselves, Ryan and Cal and Ryan. What is up, lads?
Not much, man. How you doing?
Oh, we're chilling. It's been a whole 2 days since I saw you guys.
Yeah, I know, right? We actually caught up in real life.
Real life friendship.
Mm.
It's a novel concept in 2021.
Beer tasted good on that day.
Yes. Well,
how many beers did you have, Ryan?
7. Yeah.
And then you drove. Did you drive or switch drove?
Oh, it was say switch drove.
Yes.
I mean, drove. Yeah.
You had the beers over 7 hours though, so it was fine, right?
Oh, definitely.
Well, they can't confirm it anyway because it's like it didn't get tested, bro. But yes, we will. Yeah. You got one of those self-driving cars. We will get into the chat about a very eventful weekend.
I'll make it clear she did drive, so it's all right.
A very great weekend of all the things such as like public defecation and other crimes you've committed or admitted to on the podcast. That is pretty minor in the scheme of things. So don't worry about it. Yes, we will get into the weekend. What a great weekend it was. It was a vibe.
Yeah, man, it was an awesome weekend.
It was a very.
It was we had the big powerlifting comp. Up at Valhalla on Sunday. I had 3 clients and Ryan had a client and he competed himself.
Yes. Yep. It's been probably the things teased most on here since like Thor and Eddie's fight. That's never going to happen. The only other thing we've been talking about Ryan's meet. So
Ryan's comp, yeah.
We're going to get into the whole wrap up from the day. Many dramas, many spectacles to be seen. Great things all around. So we'll get into that chat.
A lot of drama.
Yes, it was a movie script. So guys, stay tuned for that. As always, if you're liking the podcast, check us out on all the platforms, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, etc. At time of listening, I think you will still be able to submit a question for our shirt giveaway, our belt shirt. We've already got some great questions in. So like on Instagram, you can leave us a question, DM in the stories, however you want to get it to us. And also, if you leave a written review on Apple Podcasts with your Instagram handle or your name, you'll get a second entry into the draw. And we'll probably be drawing that in the next couple of days or so at time of listening. So make sure you get on board with that. I am not wearing it. I'm wearing a World Gym shirt, but whatever.
Sell out,
yeah. Sponsored post. So yes, all that good shit. But let's jump into Cal's corner. So then we can bounce into the main shit in a moment. What do you got for us this week, bro?
Well, I got some good feedback from last week. Hey, the people liked the pizza train idea.
Did they?
Yeah. I got some feedback on that. So I'm going to piggyback off that.
Okay, I won't derail it this week. I realize every week that I just like derail your.
You got to give a rating on the idea at the end. That's what I want from you, really.
Okay.
It's like, is this viable or not?
Okay.
How much money are you willing to invest?
All right. I'll let you get into it.
What do people like even more about pizza rather than just the vehicle of how it arrives to you? Everyone likes, they get a pizza one night, they don't eat the whole thing, chuck it in the fridge, come through the next day and eat cold pizza straight out of the fridge, right?
Yeah.
So what if we have a pizza place that only sells cold pizza, no hot pizzas allowed?
Ooh, okay.
You guys think refrigerated pizza ready to go?
That's good.
But is the idea that you then heat it up, or it's just you only have it cold?
You're not allowed to heat it up. It's cold.
I've got to admit, I'm not a big connoisseur of the cold pizza.
Dude, cold pizza is so good.
I prefer hot, but when I'm say I've got like 5 and I got to put 4 in the microwave, I'll get one cold and eat that.
So it just means you're a fat cunt.
Yeah, pretty much. Just time me over the minute 10 or 20 that I put in there.
We live in southeast Queensland, Brisbane, where it's very hot. It's a 40-degree day. How much would a cold beer and a cold bit of pizza be?
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Or pizza. It was early pizza and like Weet-Bix, like milk. So you have
that's a Brianism right there. I don't know about that.
Not pizza though, but you're having like your normal breakfast, but then you have pizza as well. Like this is breakfast even better.
Oh, I get you. Yeah. All right. So what do you guys rate that?
So people say pineapple doesn't belong on pizza. Brian's like, nah, bro. Weet-Bix, man, big brain.
Weet-Bix.
Weet-Bix pizza.
Shout out Ronzo, the Italian, like authentic Italian hate pineapple on pizza. I'm like, I love having it. I tell her, chuck it on there.
Dude, pineapple on pizza is awesome. I'm all about it.
I must say though, when I did go to Italy, I see maybe it's just a wankerism coming out of me, but I can see why they don't do it. But if I want like an Aussie or I guess more of American pizza, just fucking put everything on it.
Yeah, but their traditional pizzas is like the base, like tomato, they're like sauce.
Yeah, what do they call it?
Cheese, and that's it. Like they don't do all the meats and shit
Yeah.
So why are we drawing the line at pineapple?
Yeah, I agree. I don't know how. Maybe it's just my personal preference. I don't really like cold food, so like I'm just not a fan of cold food. So
but you like sushi, don't you?
I like sushi.
Yeah, that's
like
food.
I mean, not cold food, but I'm saying food that is designed to be hot.
Yeah.
That is
true.
Cold. You know what I mean?
Look, I'm just saying cold pizza would be a hit. Like it's just something a bit different. Everyone likes pizza already.
I feel like you could have it like a spin on it where it was like similar to that, where like you're saying like it's almost like an emotional attachment to the food because like you're like fucked up or something, hungover, and the next day you're like, oh, we've got pizza, like, and it's objectively not like the best meal, but it's kind of the context of it. No. You could have like a like mum's leftovers type of store where it was all you could get like spag bowl from the night before. You could get like, and it was like a, it's a takeaway, but it's like that kind of nostalgia of like a home cooked meal with the leftovers the next day or something like that.
What do you call it?
I've done it again. I've derailed this thing.
No, you've derailed. You bastardized it, right? It's cold pizza, all right? Get out of here.
Okay.
I reckon you can call it
delivered on a train.
Too. Ned's idea can be MILF's meals.
MILF's meals.
MILF's meals. Oh, jeez. Yeah. They sell like breast milk there or some shit too. No.
So if anyone wants to invest in my cold pizza idea, just write in, send us a DM or something. Let me know.
Yeah, well, I think we're going to start putting polls up. Guys, jump on the Instagram right now. I reckon there'll be a poll up, and we can see if you are pro the cold pizza shop or
that's what we need to do. Yeah,
that's the one way democracy.
Yeah,
democracy on this bit. Yeah. That's what we'll be doing. Okay, so
and then at the end of the season, whichever Cal's Corners had the most like positive feedback for it, that's the one we invest all our money in.
Yeah, and then when maybe we're like another like 5 to 6 episodes in, we can do a tier list debating best Cal's Corners of it's all you, bro. Tier list. We can bring it back.
No, a tournament bracket, not a tier list.
Oh, tournament bracket.
Yeah, then in a month's time, have another tournament bracket of all the tier lists that have happened to find out what the best one is.
Oh, diet soft drink episode for sure.
and then hit for us.
Oh yeah. Hey, that was good. We'll probably bring one of them. We might do a mini one, or we'll bring something back. They were fun ones to do. Okay, guys. So yeah, jump on the Insta and let us know what you think. Vote, cast your vote. Use democracy to let us know if you were pro or for Cal's idea there. I like it. Maybe you can sell it like an ice cream shop because it's cold still.
I think it works better on the pizza train idea anyway.
Yeah. Well, there you go. We're moving on. Yeah. Again, in the essence of let's get to the fun chat, we're going to go into the bro news straight up. Tracy Grimshaw, tonight. So we just have one story this week because, I don't know, not that much has happened. But this is an interesting one. This isn't like a big time news one like the last week. So this is in the same vein as the shit towns of Australia type news. It is Maryborough mum banned from every service station within 7,000 kilometre radius after 16 petrol drive-offs. And she's fronted court today. Now, I have next to no details of this because it is on the Courier Mail, and that's the only thing I could find it on, and it's paywalled, the article. So this is news in of itself. I am paying
7,000. Australia's not even that fucking big.
7,000 kilometers.
Yeah, from here to Perth, also even the furthest northeastern point down to Perth would not even crack that. Maybe just.
Oh, sorry, 700. My bad. 700.
Oh, okay. I'm
My
like,
bad. It's the article, bro. No, 700. So yeah,
Okay.
so she's every Fraser Coast
You're right,
service station. Fraser, you might be right. Good shit,
Yeah.
Ryan.
I think it's
Fraser
like
Coast.
1600.
I was going to Google Maps.
Yeah, no, you're right because
Anyway, it doesn't matter.
it's like 1,500 to Cairns from here or something.
Yeah,
Anyway,
3,600 from Burleigh to Perth.
there you go. Okay.
That's-
Well,
There you go.
okay. So she's everyone in Australia. No,
And
no. So
Indonesia.
700 kilometer radius. So it's the Fraser Coast service stations. She's fronted court today. Committed a series of fuel drive offs. So 16 drive offs. So she's fueled up and then just done a runner at multiple places. Now she's literally banned from all of them. So that's a fucking interesting one. There's two topics for this one. One, the whole topic of that, and two, just how shitty paywalls are for articles. Like, what the fuck?
Especially at Korea Mail. Is it not even a reputable place anyway? I think people
It's
pay for that shit.
2021. We don't pay for news anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the thing. I think like people
Especially
think
at
it's
Korea Mail.
well, yeah, like they think because you know that like it's like a clickbaity thing, like
Yeah.
the 10 biggest whatever, and then you go, it's like pay
Viewers.
$1 subscription, you use your account, and people think they're like, oh fuck, I really want to see it, I'm going to subscribe now. I just go, oh you fuck, it's like a Rickroll. I'm like delete, like exit, like
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know anyone that's gone and gone, oh I better subscribe then to read this one article, bro. So let's
No
get
one's
that.
subscribing.
Let's get that paywall shit out of here. You could get the same revenue from fucking advertising on the page, man. That's dumb shit. So-
You know what they got in Tasmania, which was interesting when I was there. They've
What
got 24-hour petrol stations, and there's no one there, so you have to actually pay to authorize the pump before you get your petrol. Right.
Ah.
So they've already solved the issue. And the other interesting thing too is that those places have cheaper petrol than like the ones that actually have people working there.
Oh, so there's no start. Oh, it's 24/7. So like, it's like
24/7
in the middle of the night.
But
How do you get your midnight munchies? Is it like a whole,
well, it's in the middle of nowhere, so it's like Tasmania's pretty remote. But the annoying thing is you can never fill up, so you got to like put $20 in. So you go pay for $20 and you put that in your car. And I was real worried about paying too much money and filling up, and then like having like $10 of petrol just sitting there and not knowing what to do with it.
Dang.
paying
Yeah.
it forward?
Well, yeah, because I was going to bring up the fact that yeah, pay it 40 calories. I own it, but that fucking well.
Yeah, spray in the ground, just
Like you just torch the fucking joint after, like fucking Tasmania, motherfucker.
pour your water bottle out and start filling that up.
It's all forests and shit too. Like just goes up. Well, I was going to bring up the point that like I feel like Australia. I mean, I'm not super well traveled in like a lot of Europe, for instance. But Ryan, you can maybe speak to this. But like in the States, for instance, pretty sure 99% of places you have to. It's the same thing. You either have to go into the actual and like pay at the cashier, like, oh, could I put $50 on number 3, and then go out and fill it up. Because I remember when we were there, like it took me like the first time I was like, bro, is this shit broken? I just went to go to talk to him and be like, hey, your thing's broken. And then I saw people, I was like, oh shit, big brain. But like, I wonder what the rest of the world, I feel like Australia probably is like one of the fewer places that it has like the honesty system basically with this type of shit. What are your experience with that?
It's such a big problem, hey, like where people talk about driving off from petrol all the time. Like it's a thing that happens. And it's literally such an easy fix, which is just you pay before you fill up. But I guess you can't fill all the way up, which like what I was saying before, because you like pre-authorized it.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a way they'd be able to do it. Like just have to pre-authorize for like $80 or something.
And then just refund you whatever doesn't pay. Yeah.
Well, yeah, and it's like a vending machine. I'm pretty sure if you put your card and before you make a selection, it just pre-authorizes whatever the highest amount is or something.
Well, if you're going to fill up and say it's nearly empty, you just know how big your tank is and go, cool, 40 liters. And that whatever that pay is.
Yeah. Yeah, they need like just a tap pay thing on like an FPOS thing on the thing. But what's your experience, Ryan? You've done a bit of Europe. You did a big Europe trip. Do you get around much on the like Vespers or some shit? You have to fuel up over there at all?
We didn't. We had motorbikes in Amsterdam.
Yeah.
The rest was walking. We didn't do too much transport apart from like public transport and Ubers.
Yeah.
Had we done the trip again, we would have gone to less places and got a car and hired it and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
I didn't actually have much experience with the filling up.
Oh, there you go. We might put a poll. We might put a poll up as well for this one. Just be like, where is your country, or question thing? Where is your country, and do you have to do you pay pre or post fueling
I'm
up.
just not it makes sense what Cal had in Tassie. Maybe for after hours, I get it, but like, I'm just not a fan of like not having people serve me.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Like I'm all about getting. Yeah, this is me, old school Brian. I'm all about.
It's the same as last week. Yeah,
I want to have interaction with people, even if it's good or bad. See, like
the interaction with the dude at a petrol station at like 10 o'clock at night is like, oh yeah, $50. Here you go. Do you want a receipt? Nah. All right, see ya.
Yeah, hope you have a good night. See you, bro.
Yeah.
That's it. Like that makes that dude's days a little bit better than hey, there we are, more for it. I want more people employed there rather than just fucking going all paperless and peopleless.
Yeah,
But would you be willing to pay 4 cents less on petrol for there not to be a dude there?
If it was after hours, so like 10 p.m. till say, I don't know, 4 or 5 a.m., sure. But if I'm out at that time, I know what the hell I'm doing. I should be sleeping.
Respect. So yeah, guys, maybe jump on our Instagram and we'll put something up and let us know where your country is, if it's not in Australia, and what's your system with fuel. Because I feel like because we're still a small country, like we've kind of got that goodwill policy type of thing going. I feel like the rest of the world's like, bro, no, we're not about that. Like pretty dodge. So I'd be interested to see, hear you guys' thoughts. So yes, that's just a brief news for the week. But now we can get into the main event. That was this
is the main event of the evening.
That's like the only good voice you can do, eh?
Except he does it really good, Rick James.
Oh, okay.
I'm Rick James, bitch. Show Charlie Murphy a ticket.
See?
That's actually so good.
It's the one thing you can do.
And he has a real good like Kiwi, like Cuzzy bro accent too. I don't know how, but
yeah, but that's him.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
he does a bad Australian accent, I should say. It's the other way. Yes, the big powerlifting meet on the weekend, as Cal mentioned, aforementionedly, Valhalla Strength. The man over here, Brian Short, he came third. That's one RD for those of you not familiar with the internet, which is basically almost first, but not first and somehow third.
Had a chance to pull for the win.
Yes, and you
did
pull. Man, it was a wild day. So, I mean, I think you guys just like set the scene a little bit. So, I mean, I think Ryan going in, you weren't very confident before the day, right? Like you were feeling pretty shit.
Going in, I hadn't even done a bodyweight squat since the Tuesday before a Sunday comp. So I'm like, because I injured my back and I was just like feeling like shit. I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to turn up and warm up better and see how I go. And the warm up went really well. I was pretty calm. I think I maybe lowered any expectations and that sort of thing too. And just said, if I can, at the very least, just get out there and do my warm up squat, then I should be okay. And I did that. Went well. My 180 squat at the last warm up flew, and I was like, "Fuck yeah, I've got this. Bring her on today." Like I was in a really good spot then.
Yeah.
And prior to that, wasn't. But I opened at 192.5, and I'm like, man, I should have opened with like 200 and something based on that. So that gave me a lot of confidence. But I knew I was getting a PB. I just didn't know how much by. So I got 5 kilo PB, which is pretty good.
215.
215, yeah. The best I've done is 210 in comp. So, in prep. So, 215, and I think we can all agree. Probably, if I had a fourth attempt, I would have gone for 220. But but it's good to know that I had that in the tank. I think it's funny. Out of all the lifts, my bench was the only one I got 9 white lines for. So, yeah. But
what happens when you go light?
My bench was 135. Yeah, true. I think I could have done 136 based on how slow that last one was. But
136.
Yeah, with the 0.5s, bro. Come on.
Half kilo plates. But it's good to have something really quite obvious to work on, which is get a bigger upper body. That will give you more muscle with more strength and less range. All three will be just simply by getting bigger. And the deadlift, I knew that once I got that first squat out the way, I'm like, all right, I know I've got a big deadlift today, just didn't know what number.
Yeah.
And then we got a bit strategic. I saw a few people fail their 230 squats and stuff, I was like, if I can just be not so shit in the bench, I reckon I've got a good chance.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna set the scene. So, but actually before that, Cal, I'm interested because well, you've obviously your sort of tie-in with this was you were prepping quite a few clients and you've done quite a few meets before. Because to me, like that approach of Ryan, where like obviously he was feeling pretty beat up and just didn't train, but like to me, I've always kind of thought that like you're gonna your peak week, like you're gonna peak kind of a couple of weeks out in strength, like maybe 2 weeks out, and then you kind of coast and like get your body actually feeling all right. Like that was always like my kind of thought of like the approach to doing a meet. So like for me, when you're like, I only did bodyweight squats like closer to than like 5 days before, I'm like, to me, that would sound perfect. Like I feel the most like primed strength wise in that kind of mode where I've gone heavy and then I've kind of just had a bit of a gap and then you try and perform. So what was that kind of approach with the clients, Cal, in terms of peaking for that day?
I did a peaking block for them. So I think it was 2 to 3 weeks for most of them. So obviously come off some strength blocks and stuff before that, and got them to hit like 95% singles like the week before the comp, essentially. So like quite a heavy single in the main lifts. And then the week of the comp, I just had some tapered sessions. So they were like, probably would have been singles at like 85%, something like that, 80%. It was like the openers pretty much they hit on all their lifts. So nothing heavy that week. So they dropped back a little bit so they weren't too fatigued, dropped off all accessories and not much volume or anything like that. So it was just carrying a small amount of fatigue so they could recover well to go into the comp, perform well, which worked really well. I was pretty happy because they all got records on all the lifts, like overperformed like what they should have. So
killed it.
I think strategically.
How many days before did they stop training entirely?
Like 2.
Oh, really? So when was the heaviest squat then?
So like the week before they hit a pretty heavy squat.
Oh, sorry, the 85%. So you had the heaviest squat week before, but then Sunday comp. When was their last, decent
Thursday,
squat?
I think for most of them.
Yeah,
really?
Thursday they would hit the
I'd hate that.
Pretty much.
I honestly would hate that. I'd be like, nah, give me like fucking 50% max. But that's me.
I think a few different things is the thought process here is, for one, it's like greasing the groove, like practice. Yeah. So like getting that confidence out. So you go into the comp and know, oh, my opening lift I'm going to hit on the day I did a couple of days ago in training, so they feel good about it.
Yeah, definitely.
They literally did like 2 sets of like 3 exercises, like squat, bench, deadlift. So like they really didn't work very hard on the day. They just did some singles really. So there's not a whole lot of fatigue and they're not going to feel beat up from that at all, because that's what they've been prepping for the whole block. So I sort of brought them in still in that, motion ready to go.
And I guess it is all relative too. Like if you had, say we had a client that was a 300 plus squatter or deadlifter, then you probably would be taking that same approach 3 days out.
Maybe a little bit less, but I think that I would still be doing something. If they say they squat 300, you might want them to hit like a 220 to 250 squat, like too far out, I reckon. Yeah.
So that's just so interesting to me because I feel much the same as you, Ryan, although maybe not as much on bench, but certainly deadlift and probably squat as well. Like I kind of just feel like I need that time to like if I've had almost like weeks off intentional or unintentionally, like COVID lockdown or something or whatever it is, that like I actually, if I provided I've been training like at least decently heavy before, like if I have an extended period of time off, no more than probably like 10 days, I actually feel like my strength presents like way better after like a big gap of not really doing anything than consistently building up to it.
I actually think that maybe not as much for the squat and bench, maybe because I'm just a better deadlifter, but I think overall you still need a bit of, like, ideally you would have a bit of practice with those two, I'd say.
Yeah.
Like so I think, what Cal's done is, I think is really good. I personally would not want to go that heavy because I was like, I don't know, like, I had like a 6-pack of beer the day before, to be honest. And a glass of wine.
That's the differing approaches. Cal's still working off suboptimal percentages and Ryan's just down in the fucking beers. What a G.
I had to go wedding shopping for my mate, for Millard.
Yeah.
And we got fucked around for 2 hours because we got the wrong thing. We're like, okay. Went to another shopping center before we go. I said, Matt, let's go get a burrito. So we sat down and there were $5 Coronas. Mate, give me 4 Coronas. So we had 2 each. And then we went to shopping, had a good time. Then I got a card and I had 2 more with them. And then I had one more at our apartment I was staying at. Then 1 vodka, and 1 wine. So yeah, 7 drinks all up.
Nice.
Max.
Had a good sleep. Woke up, watched the rugby, the All Blacks replay from 2 a.m. I watched it at 5 a.m. and had a can of baked beans and heaps of Gatorade and water, and then went to the comp and coffee.
Oh, I was going to say, like, before he said the Gatorades and waters, I was like, oh, he's water cutting, bro. He's coming in dehydrated. Get the fucking Gloss Brenner score going a bit better. But he's like, nah.
No, I go weighed the day before.
Oh, this was after. Yeah. Oh, this was the night. Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is literally
that's even more big brain. Yeah. So, but anyway, so back to the narrative though, the thing that everyone's here for. So speaking of Gloss Brenner, so Cal over here, like I'm there mostly just filming, being a nerd, not doing anything. Cal's obviously handling his clients mostly, which by the time Ryan the final flight was on the deadlifts because it was split up. So they'd all pretty much finished at that point.
5 hours after my first squat, I must say too.
Yeah, it was a long day. It was a long day.
It was a long day.
A good day though. But so Cal's freed up and we've got big support. There's a big crew there too. Big crew. We'll get into that. But Cal's there on looking at the totals, looking at the numbers on the board. He's got that Rain Man fucking put that meme up here. He's got that Quick Maths Cal hat on. Yeah. And Ryan, so you've done your first 2 deadlifts. So how'd they go?
Easy. The second one was 600 pounds. I wanted that from weeks out of I want 600 pounds. It was 272.5 kilos. I knew once I did my 220 last warm up out back, I'm like, yeah, I've got that. Part of me was like, I wish I opened with it just so I can have some, but obviously you don't know this shit because you have to put your openers the day before. And I'm like, I don't know how the fuck I'm going to feel after. But I tend to, I don't know, deadlifts I can just do all the time. But 250 flew up, 272.5, in the context of flying up was decent for a second.
Yeah.
And then I said, I'll go 280 because I'm like, okay, nice round number, I go 280. And I went and chilled out back and it was about 5 minutes in. It was about 10 minutes between there, about 5 minutes before my lift. And that's when Calvin came up and got me
work out,
aroused. He got me aroused.
I did the maths and Brian was in second at that stage. And I was like, oh shit, he could actually win this. And so I had a bit of a calculation.
If his head wasn't big enough.
Yeah. I didn't realize he was that close because I was like paying attention to other stuff, like more attention, like wasn't really watching the board for him. And I saw that the guy in front of him because this was a novice comp, so there wasn't weight classes. It was all just using like the Gloss Brenner. So it's like an equation to find out who wins based on their weight. He lifted quite a lot less than Ryan, but just because and he used that age too, because he was so much lighter, he would have been like 80 kilos or something like that. Yeah, he was actually winning at that stage. I'm not sure. Yeah, whatever it was. So I did the calculations and I was like, oh, Ryan, like, because he just hit his lift then, this dude, because it was lighter. And I was like, oh, Ryan, if he hits this 280, he'll still be just underneath the score he needs for that. So I figured it out. I was like 282.5 was still just under as well. I was like 285 would beat him by like a whole point. So I was like,
this is where the drama ensued.
So I was like, there's not much time left. So I run over to Ryan. I'm like, yo, you all right? He's like, yeah, I'm feeling really good. I was like, hey, if you go up to 285, you'll win. Like you can win this if you want. And he's like, yeah, do it. so I'm like, oh shit. So I can cruise around.
Yeah, let's do it. That was what it was.
Yeah.
Not a single bit of hesitation. I'm like, fuck it, let's go for it.
Luckily, I go into the scoring table. And I'm like, hey, it's like sneaking. It's like, hey, can you change Ryan's deadlift to 285 real quick? And she's like, oh, you just snuck in. Like, because there must be a time period or something before. So I was literally like within 30 seconds, I think we would have missed out. They wouldn't have changed it for him. So I managed to get his weight changed. Anyway, that's my part over. So.
And all I saw into like from the third party perspective. So Callum said to me like, oh, I think if he goes to 285, which is 5 heavier, he can win it. And he's like, should we tell him? We were sort of debating it or whatever. Like, yeah. And then I see Cal do what he just described. He go over to Ryan, who's in his zone over in the corner. And then he comes back, and then I see him go to the table. And I'm like, so what'd you really tell him to put on the bar? I was like, Ryan didn't tell him to put the weight on. The Callum's just like liaised here. And I'm like, bro, this guy has some fucking Machiavellian scheme stuff. He goes like a 301. Yeah. We're pulling a PR, bitches. No, it turns out it was 285. So then... Look, and the other thing I didn't realize as well, like we didn't realize that Because it's such a like, there's so much shit going on. There's so many people, coaches, athletes. It's just like an ant farm, basically, PL, right?
Crazy.
The other thing I didn't realize was Ryan's that deadlift, that number was the heaviest deadlift as well. And obviously, the way it works after the openers, or even with the openers, it's the head, like they obviously go up in weight, so you don't have to keep changing up and down weight. So it was literally the last lift, deadlift being the third lift, the last lift of the last category of the day.
Yeah.
And he's lifting to literally win the comp. So it was like this fucking hectic thing. We were like, oh shit, I'm there with the camera and shit.
Yeah.
It was
all
like
the
a
drama.
Atmosphere. Yeah, count last minute. I was like, bro, you couldn't write this fucking script. This is like one of those feel good like sports movies.
Legit, yeah.
And he like hits the home run and like the ball was like sailing over the thing. So Ryan, what were you thinking going into that? You were zoned in going into that 285.
Oh man, it lit a fire up my ass. It was something that I've been craving that for fucking years. And I finally, in a competitive environment, got to just leave everything on the platform, and it was awesome. Like I'm still on a bit of a high from it. Like I'm physically pretty drained, but like I think I'm just like so happy that I went for it. I would have been disappointed if I said, "Oh no, let's keep it 280, go conservative." Like what the fuck for? Like, I'm already here. May as well go for it.
Yeah,
and it's it was good. Like I don't think, apart from having better balance at the top, I don't think I could earn anything more, because I'm like, there was no way that I was going to stay on the ground. I had so much focus on it. I was just like, yep, I'm in the zone. It's a feeling that I miss from footy and stuff like that. But it's different as well, because it was just me. I didn't rely on 14 other of my teammates or 12 others in league. It was just me. I'm like, this is fucking awesome. I loved it. I would relive that moment, over and over again. I think that even feedback from my coach was like, man, when he sent me a video saying, mate, it's every powerlifter's dream to get a chance to pull for the win. Like that's just
it was,
don't
stage was set perfectly. Like everyone was after my screaming and everything. It was legit. Like
it was a journey. It was a real journey.
It was a massive journey. So anyway, we sort of danced around it, but you go up to the bar though.
I went up to the bar and I took a few more bigger breaths and that sort of thing. I probably wouldn't say stuffed around, but spent a bit longer than I normally would, probably just because it was heavy. And once I took my last, because I get my sort of lats tight and drive my hips down. Once I got it off the ground, I'm like, oh, I've got this. And then it was like,
that's what we thought too.
All I had to do is stand up, and I did. And I don't know, like I've looked back at the video, but you can see my right foot come off the ground. I'm like, how the fuck did I lose balance? Like I think in those 1%ers or 0.1%ers, I think a better pair of, like if I got those notorious lift shoes, I would have less movement in my feet. Like that shit would have mattered then, I reckon. I contemplated buying them early in the prep, but I'm like, no, wait for like I don't know, it's one of those things where I'm like, no, I'm not strong enough yet, that sort of thing. So I know those Connies watching and they do move around. I won't wear them again for a comp. I wear proper shoes, but it's like bare feet, I've got that.
So you literally got it off the ground, locked it out, and then for like needed to hold the weight and put the bar back down, but then just like lost balance backwards and had to like abort mission.
Well, the thing is though, I still like when I felt like I was falling backwards, I'm like, okay, like it was such a split second thing. I'm like, whatever you do, just don't drop the bar, because at least if I got like, I don't know, hypothetically, if I got like a down call, technically that would still stand because I didn't let the bar go. So I'm like, at least do that part. And I didn't feel any grip issues, nothing, which I didn't previously. But I was like, oh well, hey, look, I gave it a crack. It was fucking fun. I was so happy.
Yeah. it was the moment. The atmosphere was so peaked, and there was just like, because like it feels like even when you're lifting, it feels like way longer. But even when you're watching, it still feels like the passage of time is really like drawn out, like in a long moment, and like the atmosphere was going off, like it was crazy. And then there was just like that sort of like that deafening, like like everyone groaned and was just like
the air out of the building.
You should hear Switz on the camera because she's recording it right there.
Yeah,
get her.
It just literally peaked and then was just like dissipated. And everyone was just like, like if you just missed it cleanly, even like it would have been like just didn't come off the ground or something. But like it was just, oh my god, it was. You couldn't write it, bro. You couldn't write it. I could not believe it.
Yeah, it was. look, it was all fun. Like, I'm still happy about it, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm glad that I haven't beaten myself out about it, because I think you both know me. A couple of years ago, I probably would have. Like, so I did it the best I could, apart from the balance.
Yeah.
I honestly think, like, sounds real funny, but if I put 290 on there, I would have got it, because I would have got that much speed at the top. Because I got it fast and it's slow, then I got this extra fucking hip thrust.
Yeah, it almost looked like
back.
it almost looked like when you kind of got it past your knees and you were kind of trying to lock it out, and it was slow, that you like kind of started leaning back to try and like kind of lock it out, and then it kind of came up faster than you thought, and because you'd already had your momentum a bit back, you kind of you couldn't rein it back in. But
yeah, true.
It was far, bro. I couldn't believe it. So that's why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still, you're a 0.5 off.
But Callum, well, Ryan as well. But it's you. But Callum, that shit is like, these things don't happen to other people, bro. This shit is like such a Ryan fucking. For everyone listening, like, you just don't get the number of like things that you're like. It's just a Ryan fucking thing to happen, man. Like,
he was literally hitting like a home run to win the game. Like, it was like anything that happens in sport. It was like that, literal, like right at the line, like the whole thing.
It's the movie with like the inspirational music, and like they shoot the basket, and then it's like on the rim, and it's like for 20 minutes like going around, and then it just comes out at the end and it just cuts or whatever. But like, there's just these things that I don't understand with Ryan's. Is like enigma where this shit just happens, in like good or bad. Like, you can't even like when he's fucking late to the podcast, it's just fucking Ryan. Like, you can't, he's just a weird character, bro. Like, you can't explain, like, that shit would never have happened to anyone else. Like, never in a fucking million years would they be in that position. Would then that lift happen? Would then that way, like, it just doesn't. So, I mean, it was just nuts, bro.
I had like no doubt in him hitting it either. That was a weird thing, because I was like,
bro.
Before he's going out, I was like, right, he's like, yeah, G'ing him up. He's like, yeah, I got this. Like, yeah, he does.
Yeah, I thought he was getting it.
He's like,
can
you slap me? I slapped the shit out of him. My hands are like ringing for like 5 minutes after.
Callum's got
like, I didn't hit him too hard. I'm like,
Callum's got fucking RSI in his elbow. He's got elbow tendonitis from that slap.
He got up there. I was like, fuck, I hope that wasn't too hard. Like, knocked the wind out of him or something.
He did it 2 or 3 times as well. Yeah. That's the best part.
Yeah, slap the shit out of him.
Maybe it was Callum's fault. Like, your inner ear, like the balance was gone, and that's why he lost it. Like, he's moved your brain or something, and he slapped you so fucking hard. Oh man. But yeah, like, you just couldn't ride it. Like, as I said, I didn't think you were gonna miss it either, just because I know what you're like, and like you said, like that position where like
nature
as soon as I knew, like, if it had just been for the win, or then like someone else could, like, when I was like, oh, is this the last lift? I was like, oh, Ryan's gonna fucking hit it for sure, bro, for sure. But yeah, oh my god. But we cracked the beers after you came, as I said, third.
I had one in like 20 seconds, I reckon.
Yeah. Third. So
third. Hey, thank you both too, Kelvin, especially for running over and telling me that. Like, there's no doubt in my mind I'm going to give it a crack. So I appreciate you coming over and just being like, right, here's an opportunity. So
it was a lot of fun, the whole thing. Like,
fuck yeah.
It was a great
your girls
day.
killed it too. Your girls and both did so well. It was awesome.
Definitely.
So it was just a good vibe, you know, like it. And I think that's what I'm like. Now I can finally talk about powerlifting as being there, not
first person
it a couple of times. Like, it really does give you a chance to, showcase your strength and what you've trained for. And I talk about my prep being the last few weeks are pretty crap, but I'm like, you know what, I've done enough over the last 12 or since fucking lockdown, squatting in my garage on wheelie bins. I'm like, I hope that carries me through. Like, I've done enough work to at least give me the, like, I deserve to be here sort of thing. And that's sort of what I took in, and it just shows that, you do enough background work that you're worthy of being there. So it was good. I honestly loved it. It's something I definitely want to do again. And I've got obviously areas to work on, and it's like, well, go ahead and do them. And it's bench. Well, Bryce texted me like queries. He was like, if you had, basically saying if you had a better bench, you wouldn't even have to go pull for the
legit,
Shit.
But how is it less than half my actual deadlift I got, the 272 and a half? Half of 270 is 135.
Yeah, it is what it
and
is.
I think, generally speaking, I have to get at least 150, but I think 160 is something with, roughly my weight that I'd need to be if I want to be somewhat good. Because I know that my squat and deadlift will keep building. Especially a squat. It's got a lot of room to go there after, imagine another 18 months on top of what I've already done. It's like,
your squat's blown up, bro, in the last couple of years, man. Like two almost 220 squats, like ridiculous, bro.
And the best thing is that I can count maybe once in probably this whole year, where I've actually felt pain. That they're not soreness, but like, whereas I used to years ago, because I fucking good morning my squats, I always thought it was normal to feel such low back pain in the days afterwards. Whereas I could squat 3 days a week, wouldn't say comfortably, but without too much pain. Only towards the ends when shit got a bit heavier.
Yeah.
But I could easily put 180 on my back comfortably now. I'm like, oh, cool. That's good to know that I can walk that out and rep it out and not feel sore the next day from, So that to me is huge progress. It knows that I know that I can go and, take them to future preps. And now I'm going to probably do more hack squatting and build some size and that sort of thing and still keep the skill of squatting, maybe once a week. But so come into a prep, I'll be right. But I think the squats had a huge carryover. Like off the ground too, my deadlift's way quicker than it used to be.
Yeah.
So it's so there's heaps of stuff to work on, but right now I'm like, yeah, that was good. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and it's awesome to do it with my friends too, and you too, and my obviously crew and your girls too that were there, and
we had a fucking huge crew there, bro. I think we had the biggest crew for anyone, and that's fucking hilarious because. Like it was literally like the Epic and like all the like Valhalla people and that like all like intermingled. Like that's literally their gym. It's like,
and it's funny. The only thing that stopped having even more people because I had Tuckhead and a few other people. They all got on the piss the night before because of Halloween.
Yeah,
so it would have been even more if we didn't have the party.
Yeah, bro. We had a whole squad there by the end. But it's a great atmosphere. I think that's one thing, man. Like about powerlifting that, like, I mean, I've not been super involved in like. But even like bodybuilding, like I've been to a fair few like amateur sort of shows and that sort of thing. Like I think powerlifting does have like there is something unique about it that it is very like you don't really see it other like kind of types of places where you've like again like you're literally the last lift or something or like not even lap but like every lift but like just say that where like half the people there don't even know who the fuck you are and they're like fuck yeah get like hit it like get the lift bro like just outwardly like cheering for you like whether people feel good bad indifferent like. I think that is like a pretty unique thing that like, again, like the energy that you're there with, like drama and shit aside of what actually happened and like how crazy that was. But like, I just think like, again, like I think we still would have walked away and be like, oh, it was a sick day because there was always like, obviously our crew there, but like, it was just like in general, like everyone just cheers for everyone. Like at one point in a time, every single person, well, 9 times out in a day, you're the spotlight for 9 times a day, and everyone just irrespective of what just cheers for you. So, I think it was pretty, it is pretty cool in that sense. Like you can definitely see the appeal of PL from like, that sort of side of things in the community and that type of stuff.
Yeah. Well, the guy who, where is it? I'll quickly look now. The guy who came second, that younger guy.
Oh no, he won. Sorry, that guy won. Yeah. He got beat by like a 50-year-old guy.
I'll quickly find him. He commented on my post.
Yeah. Well, while you're finding that. Because
Matthew,
here you go.
His name's Matthew. He's the guy that came second. When we're getting the group photo at the end, like we're kneeling down and stuff, and he even said to me, "This dude who came second ahead of me."
Yeah,
he's like, "Man, he said it was heartbreaking watching you miss that lift." He said he had it like he almost wanted me to win and him come third, then him become second instead of him and the other bloke. It was like that's fucking awesome. You don't get that in many sports. Like it really is a. Because I think there's collectively, how much goes into that day. If you get beaten, you got beaten because someone just did a little bit more. Like it wasn't just through, like a shit prep or anything. And if you're podium, you've obviously done enough work. So yeah,
yes.
But,
I agree. Dude. I agree. So
shout out Matthew, or tag him.
Shout out, tag him. But yeah, like the last thing, sort of like to wrap that. Well, one, we will have like a vlog of the day and also some of the lead up footage that me and Ryan got in probably a couple of weeks' time, sometime in November. That'll come out so you can watch the high stakes drama unfold yourself. But like leading from that, so question to Ryan first. one, you're no longer an amateur or novice, I should say. No longer can do novice meets. Is there? Are we competing again? Did the bug bite you? Are you in for it?
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm competing again, and my quick thing would be I won't do one early next year because there's not enough time to get jacked up. But I'd say
and your arms will be way too small by then.
Yeah, exactly. They look fucking
curls
tiny in here. What the hell? Bloody fucking little arms. But no, the earliest I'll do it will be around this time next year, October, November. But or if there's like a September one year, but I don't want to do one like, what do you call it, season A or anything like that. I think that'll be too soon.
INBA.
Well, that's more of a bloody bodybuilding thing. But that's the last thing I'll be doing is getting on stage in underwear, a bunch of dudes. So
yeah, been there, done that.
Yeah,
at your house.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, what do you think, Cal? Has put your coaching hat on? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think so. I think powerlifting is a weird thing where the more you compete, the worse you'll do. Like, as in, the more time you have to prep for it, the better.
Yep.
Yeah, but I think I'm going to have a few people. I'm probably going to aim for them to do 2 next year, I reckon. So like one towards the end of the first half of the year and one towards the end of the second half of the year. I reckon that might be the go. Because there's more experience doing the actual comps, which I think is useful too.
Yeah, true. And that's one thing. Yeah, leaving it too long, you miss that what we experienced in the weekend, which is fucking awesome. So
yeah, and like you said, Cal, the technical aspects of like getting calls and that sort of stuff. But yeah, so what you've got your kind of couple of your clients got the bug as well, like
I think so. I think everyone who does it gets hooked, and they're like, it's pretty hard not to.
Bardo's already said she's keen to go again, and her friend came out to watch her, and she trains at another gym somewhere else in Brisbane, and her friend's like, look, I want to do them with you next year. So they're both on board, and she'll have her own coach, and I'll look after Bardo. But it's like, yeah, fuck yeah, let's, and then I think Meg's in again and stuff like that. I've got a handful of people.
Squad.
And that now becomes personally, I think you'd be the same, Cal, like another line of coaching we can do as well, which gets people prepped for these things.
It's probably what I prefer to do the most anyway.
Well, especially if you're kind of stepping away from PT, at least you got something you actually love doing. So yeah. And I'll do I want to learn a bit off you, and obviously my coach Bryce Lewis as well. It's like learn as much as I can, and I think that's something that is really, it's cool. It's another avenue now, I guess people don't know until they do it. Like, you've got to get out there and get that first squat done. That feeling.
That's it.
Yeah. And what about you, Cal? Cal, would you compete? You done one meet or something, right?
Yeah.
In the past, would you compete again?
Do a strongman comp. Like, I'm more interested in doing that than a powerlifting one. There's actually one. It sucks. I found one. It's on at the end of November.
That's.
And I was like, I'm too weak at the moment. Like,
I'm too weak.
Very hard
and beat up.
Yeah. It's in around the valley.
Oh yeah.
Oh, sweet.
But like, it's a bomb. Like, maybe that one next year would be the go.
Yeah. I'd be down to do a strongman. I'd probably be down to do, I don't know, powerlifting.
Can we do a 3 lift, mate?
Push pull, maybe. Push pull. I did a push pull comp. Even though my bench sucks.
There's one end of the month, bro.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, I'm too fat and weak and shit at the moment.
December,
if I was going to do one, I'd do a push pull, because I still got the whole adductor squat issue where I find I just can't put the volume in on it. So to me, it's sort of something that I can't push as hard. But
random question: in PL, can someone front squat? Does it have to be a back squat?
I don't know.
Like, if someone brought it up there, I'm like, I actually don't know the answer to that.
Why would you want to know?
I think
if you get some ollie lifter who goes in there, they're pretty good. But
I feel like for how specific the rules are, like on a like 3-point touch on a bench and like calls, like I think surely they'd have to have in there like that you can't, like, you have to have the bar on your back in some capacity.
But if you sumo and can bench, they are I would say they'd be like not the same as the front and back, but it's a different variation. It's still a squat.
Maybe, yeah. I don't know. I feel like deadlift
another
is
thing
like
too that I'll be doing as of this Saturday. I've got my thicker 25 kilo, more girthy bar, so I actually will front squat with that, so it's not as fucked on my shoulders. Just a little bit of a bitchitis coming out of me. So
yeah,
being a little bitch.
Yeah, I dig it. Oh yeah, well maybe we can hit that up next year. Strongman. I'd hit up the strongman comp.
There's a good novice one. I'll send you a link to.
I just have to fucking find somewhere to train with some implements.
The cool thing is they
Maybe-
do an under 100 kilo and an over 100 kilo weight class.
Oh, score.
Yeah.
Yes. We'll come in at like 140 like I am now and just fuck guns up.
So you do the under, I'll do the under 100, you do over
Yeah.
100.
Yeah,
So
it's
your height would be actually good for things like Atlas stones and all that for the final part, not the starting part.
Yeah,
But for
yeah.
like when it gets higher.
I think a strongman, I actually think I could be like somewhat decent at strongman because like a
Actually,
lot of
got
the
very good mobility too for a big.
I've got fairly good mobility and like I'm still like relative to my size anyway. Like I've kind of can still move okay. Like, and I think a lot of those like farmers and like yokes and shit, I feel like I'm not Gumby because I just used to be skinny and played sport and shit.
Yeah,
but I think I need pressing. There's far too much pressing, particularly overhead shit.
Yeah, there's a lot of
strongman. That like I've slowly been building it, but yeah, I'd be keen to find somewhere with some fucking. I mean, there's a few popping up around, like some actual strongman gyms and just practice on some fucking implements and.
Well, when we do our catch up, we'll meet as you guys drive down. We'll meet at Coco's, do a couple of hours there. Come back to mine, podcast, beers, beach, barbecue.
Pretty good.
Sounds like a fucking vibe.
Sounds like a good day to
That's
me.
the Christmas party for this year then. We did golf last year. We'll fucking pen that in for the Christmas party this year. But yeah, I think like, especially when you get like older or like not even older, just when you've been training for a long time, it's like nice just to have something like even like a tunnel focus for a while. Because I think it kind of all gets lost sight in like at the start, you just want to get bigger and be stronger. And then like you train for 10 years, where it's like, yeah, you are way bigger and you're way stronger and you can progress those a little bit still. But like, there's a point of like, well, okay, I've kind of done that. Like you kind of are the big, strong guy for like a number of years now. So it's not really that challenging. So like just having a thing of like, even if it's like a 3-month prep or something and being like, okay, cool. I'm like concertedly training towards this. Like, I think that's a like longer term motivation. Like, I don't really know that many people that have been just going to the gym kind of like ambiguously. Like, the life is like the Bryces and the, the guys that are 50 in that and that are still training 4 or 5 days a week. I think they tend to like, they do compete in whether it's PL, bodybuilding, whatever. So,
well, that's where I think that, for the average person who's not looking at doing PL course of bodybuilding and all that, like I haven't completely changed my views on this, but I still think overall I don't really like 8-week challenges and that sort of thing for what they represent.
Right.
However, the timeline is awesome to have like, hey, here's something, here's a goal, actually go give a shit about it and go for it. And I think that if you take the good things from an 8-week challenge, that could actually be, essentially it's, 8 or 12 week is, as I was saying the other day, Cal, is that like a 12 week would be like a prep for a PL comp anyway. So it's like,
or a cut. Yeah.
Yeah. No, 12 days. 12-day cut.
12 days of Christmas.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that there's some positives for having a timeline and something to work towards, and hitting numbers is a good way to keep you on track, because if you don't do them, well, you're going to get shown up at a comp when you've like got weaker. So what's the point of that?
Yeah. What and lastly, it's like on that sort of what did Bryce say? Your coach Bryce Lewis, what were his? Did he give him kind of like a big wrap up of it, or
it was a
DNM about it?
I'll play it again. I'll play it to you, but it was like really pumped for the fact that I had a chance to go for the win.
Yeah.
He also said, look, this is amazing start for. He said that he believes it's going to be the start of many more comps and that to come. We then broke down things about, because I sent him a video the day before about how my I need to be more communicative with him and that sort of thing as well. So it's almost like, yeah, cool. Future ones will get better, and like there's clearly things to work on. But he was just over the moon that I had a chance to go for it. So that's every powerlifter's dream. So on your first comp, you've done it. So it's like
it's only downhill from here.
Yeah, exactly. Next time I actually do it. So, and just a bit of context to it. I don't know the exact numbers top of my head, but in the 105s, I think he was we can look it up, but I think 340 squat, 220 bench, and a 350 works out being over 900 kilo total. And I was like, fuck, this is a dude who's natty 105s. He's now cutting down to 93s to be even more competitive, I guess. You think, shit, like that's just shy of 300 kilos heavier than me at the same weight. Or actually, I was a kilo and a half heavier.
That's when it fucking puts it into perspective.
You just go, look. So I clearly look at this and go, look, it's end of the days, it's still a hobby of mine. It's not like my profession or anything. And I'm like, And I'm not saying you can't do anything, put a ceiling, but I'm like, you got to be realistic and go, hey, I'm not going to be winning any world titles or anything soon, because like he still got beaten in his last comp, and then that's over in America, and it's like Lumberjack, I think the Instagram name. The dude's a fucking animal, but it's awesome to have that, be humbled by it, but also go, look, any future comps of me now that I'm not doing novice ones and going up against, if I'm going to stick with the
you have to start jabbing your glutes soon, mate.
Yeah, exactly. And that's to me, like, that's exactly my point as to why I wouldn't jump on, because I'm like, man, I'm already 300 like off anything remotely worth carrying. So why the fuck would I jump on the gas? I'm like,
jump on the gas and be only 200 off.
Yeah, but then I'm probably now 400 off people on the gas.
Oh yeah, true.
So it's like,
yeah, that's true. That's
with
true.
like your basses and all that.
Yes.
But no, it's that it was good to look at that, and I go, okay, I got 622.5. That's a hugely respectable number. That's
good total.
The first one. So I'm like, okay, let's just get. I think we can definitely get 10 to 20 kilos on that bench, and whatever else happens, I know I'll improve. So,
baller. Well, there you go. It was a fucking great day. It was just like there was some unbelievable spectacles witnessed on there, just awe-inspiring. There was some powerlifting. There was some powerlifting too, but there was, you guys, gravity defying. One might even say, say no more. But
hey, I will say on air, thank you too very much. And as I said to you, Cal, before, and shout out to Paul, who's my handler, bench unracker, for Bardo for doing her thing. She stepped up in a worse prep than mine actually. If you look at knee injury and that sort of thing, 2 months out, and. To Steph, Jude, and Jane, they fucking killed it, Callum, so that's awesome for them. And
all your clients PR'd, right, Callum?
I think all of them will compete again. Like all of our clients will compete again. And to Lani and obviously my wife's fit to come out, and just she was still doing some uni work in there. It was awesome to see.
That was crazy
for about 3 seconds, bro. I don't think she did much.
She did a decent amount done. Oh, hey, on air too. Fucking got an interview and she got the job.
Oh, awesome.
She got the job.
She got the job. Not even 24 hours, 20 hours later, got a phone call about it. So, yeah, we want you.
It's a great time to be a minority.
She actually missed the call because she was asleep after being up till 3 a.m. fucking doing shit. So, so it's pretty awesome. Really proud of her. So,
shout out. Sweet.
Start getting some pay. Woohoo.
Don't have to live off the fucking PT income anymore.
Yeah, exactly. I was fucking doing community service and
shit, bro.
So shit's good.
Yeah, awesome. So there you go, guys. That's the wrap from that whole shit, and I think that's the wrap of the episode. Thanks again for listening, as always. Bit of a this is a big breakdown episode, but we didn't really talk much about gym stuff last week, so you can cop that there. And I think it was a fun meet. It's fun to talk about it. As always, thanks for listening. Check us out on all the platforms. Follow us on Instagram. T-shirt, belt shirt giveaway. Still time to get your questions in for our Q&A episodes. You go on the draw to win that one. Shout out to the lads here. Shout out to the greatest glutes I've ever seen in my life. And I'll see you guys fucking next week. Stay swole.
Peace out, homies.
Later.
See ya.
Had to get it in there, bro. Had to.